Welcome to the fourth lecture on an article called Morality is Based on God's Commands by Robert Mortimer. This moral theory is called divine command theory. To start off, let's take a quick look at how divine command theory can fulfill the two aims of a moral theory. First, the theoretical aim. Divine command theory says that the fundamental nature of morality springs from a duty to obey the wishes of a creator God. At the end of the day, what makes actions right or wrong on divine command theory is whether or not they conform to God's will. Second, the practical aim. On divine command theory, how are we to figure out how to act in a morally acceptable way? One technique is to observe what God has done and infer what He and His will are like on that basis. The Bible might also be useful. Now that we have some idea of how divine command theory might fulfill the two aims of a moral theory, let's examine some of its details. Prominent in divine command theory is the idea of God as a creator. Think about God as being analogous to a human parent. It is commonly thought that children are morally obligated to obey their parents in virtue of the fact that their parents created them. The creator relationship, therefore, gives parents a kind of natural moral authority over their creations. By analogy, if God is the creator of all people, then all people are morally obligated to act in only the ways that He desires. But even for those who are devoted to doing God's will, it may be difficult at times to figure out of what exactly God approves and disapproves. Before taking this class, you had probably heard of people seeking moral guidance from the Bible. Mortimer outlines 3 ways the Bible can help in moral decision-making. First, it can help the reader to recall or restate fundamental moral judgments, such as those of the 10 Commandments. Second, it makes vivid to the reader the moral weakness of mortal humans, showing clearly the need for God's holiness and grace. Third, the New Testament gives readers the perspective of God's love manifested in Christ. Mortimer uses 2 illustrations to flesh out his claim that the New Testament of the Bible gives a new moral perspective to its readers. First, the care and concern of Jesus for each and every particular sinner shows that every man is an immortal soul created by God and designed for an eternal inheritance. Each individual human being has supreme value on this divine command theory view. Therefore, it would be morally wrong in any case to sacrifice some persons of supreme value for the benefit of other persons who also have supreme value. Historically, though, it has been difficult for Christians to see what treating all persons as having supreme value actually requires in everyday life. For many years, Christians practiced and tolerated slavery. Now, however, we see that the supreme value of a person does not depend on the color of her or his skin. Humans are sinners, prone to moral mistakes like this one. Another example of Christian ethics concerns retributive or eye for an eye style criminal punishment. Humans have long accepted this principle naturally and have put it into practice. But the Bible teaches that God's justice always includes mercy. Christians should therefore reject vengeance in punishment and seek only to rehabilitate. This is only one form of divine command theory, but probably a popular one. Notice that there will be different kinds of divine command theory for each distinct religion, Judaism, Islam, etc. Give divine command theory a little thought and take your questions and comments to the discussion board.